Welcome back to Family Spectrum Radio. Thanks so much for joining us today. It is my pleasure to welcome back Kristen Kennedy. She's a personal trainer and owner of Kennedy Fitness. Hi, Kristen.
Hello.
Thanks so much for coming in. You're actually sitting in for your husband, Robert, who is home ill.
Yeah, he caught that nice spring cold, so.
Well, he'll recover nicely, I'm sure, in the next couple days. You're hoping?
I do hope, yes.
But you're a trooper to come in and to stay with me and to do the interview today. We just love talking with you guys because you have so many just really great, easy, simple, practical tips for families on how to stay healthy, to be healthy. And now that spring is finally here, and we're going to be entering into summer before we know it. You have some, just Robert would call it 25 random tips for a healthier summer. So let's go down your list.
All right.
What's the number one thing?
Get outside. A lot of people, especially now that it's spring, it's an easier time to get outside because it's not so hot yet. Here in Nebraska, we have all the humidity and the high heat some days. So really take the time to get outside during spring with and without your family. A lot of people don't want to go by themselves, but it's a good time to get a walk in the morning. If you're a busy parent and you have to get those kids up to get them to school and get to work, take an extra half hour in the morning. I know it's hard to cut half hour out of your sleep time, but half an hour in the morning, go outside and take a walk. The birds will wake you up, the fresh air. It's a great way to energize for the day.
It is. It's a great way just to start the day. And not just physically, it's the physical benefits, but the mental benefits too of just getting your body moving and, as you said, getting and breathing in that fresh air. And it's just a great way to get the juices flowing.
Absolutely. Second thing, summer health tip is to avoid sugary drinks. I know when people go to the lake to boat or to walk, you'll see some people with Powerade, Gatorade, some type of Propel sport drink, and you really want to try and stay away from that because it is full of hidden sugar. There's some power drinks that have as much sugar as a pop, and I know you wouldn't want to see a marathon runner drinking a pop on the side of the road.
So why do people just automatically, because I think that's such a good point, I think people automatically think because they see athletes endorsing those products and using those products that it just must go hand in hand with health. You know, if I'm going to be active, I should be drinking that.
Right.
I have a son at home who would say that very thing.
It depends on what sport you're doing. If you're doing a more endurance type sport, like a long bike ride, let's say across Nebraska, or even a 20 to 30 mile bike ride, or you're a distance runner, or something that you're going to be physically active all day long, and you're not going to be eating a lot, those sugary drinks are good because they do have the carbohydrates, which is in the sugar, and they have electrolytes to keep your body functioning. But if you're going to walk around the lake one lap, and it's going to take you 45 minutes or an hour, you don't need that sugar. So some of the drinks, like I know I don't endorse any of them, but there's newer drinks out that don't have so many calories in them. And if you look, those are the ones that the athletes are actually drinking, not the full sugar ones, if you do see them with a power drink.
Very good point. Very good point. I think that's something definitely to kind of keep your eye out, because I wouldn't, I mean, that's just a good rule of thumb. If you're out all day and you're really doing a lot of endurance things, that it'd be a different story than just your child's just hopping on the bike and pedaling to the local store. And
if you're sweating a lot, if you're sweating uncontrollably, it's very hot, you're out doing an exercise, or you're out taking care of the lawn or something all day, then it'd be okay to have that when you come back in, but not if you're just pedaling around the park.
Exactly. And water, though, water is so great. I mean, I love water. I used to be a very, I drank pop a lot when I was younger, just from the moment I woke up and throughout the day. And I don't drink it anymore. I gave it up several years ago. And water is just, it's not just healthy, it's just, it tastes so good and refreshing, and you just can't really get enough of water.
Absolutely. And you can put Crystal Light. They have the little packets. Mm-hmm. Those don't have sugar in them. Or I believe there's now sugar-free Kool-Aid that you can kind of trick your kids into, oh yeah, it's Kool-Aid, and there's actually no sugar in it. So you can do those things.
Good little tips. Good little tips. Okay, your third tip is to play real sports. What do you mean by play real sports?
Well, everybody, the craze is kind of the Wii now. So everybody's like, oh man, I went bowling. And you're like, oh, where'd you go? Oh, on my Wii. Okay, well, the Wii has gotten kids up off the couch. they're still standing in front of the TV moving their arm. So it's better than old school Nintendo, but it's not a real sport. So get outside and get your family involved in softball, basketball, even just playing with your kids in the yard with a game of softball.
It's a good point, because some kids some kids are very competitive and very inclined to participate in sports, while others may, for whatever reason, not want to do that. But you're right, good point. Just get outside and get your own little non-competitive game going in the backyard, just to get them out.
Mm-hmm. And if they're not good at hitting a ball, then play kickball. Every kid can kick a ball. Or whatever sport they're into, you can turn it into a yard sport. It doesn't matter what it is.
Very good. Okay, what's another tip?
Instead of going through the car wash, take your car into the driveway and wash it yourself. I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but that's why we are practical weight loss solutions, because you don't have to go out and bike 50 miles. You know, just these simple little things you can put into your day, like washing your car in the driveway, is a good way to get in extra physical activity.
And it's fun too. And I just remember I have so many fond memories of washing the family car when I was a kid, and my kids absolutely love it. I mean, as soon as the sun comes out in the spring and it's just not warm enough to have that hose out, they want to be out there washing the car. It's fun, and you're right, it gets you moving.
Yeah, and then you get the squirt guns out and you spray your kids and the kids run away, and you get them extra physical activity washing the car.
Yes, and it's free.
That's right.
It's free.
Unless you have to pay for the water, then there's a little bill, but not bad.
Not too much. All right, what's the next tip? This is a fun one.
Well, I think Nebraska took over as the windiest state here recently.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding.
Really? I didn't hear that.
It's windy every day here. So what's better to do on a windy day than go fly a kite?
Good,
Everybody
simple.
likes to fly kites.
It's fun, and there's lots of open spaces in
Yep.
Omaha to do that
Make
safely.
sure you're away from power lines. That's always something to watch for. Make sure you're not by a busy street where if your kite and you're not watching, you go into the street. But there's many open fields where you can even get just the cheap 99-cent kite and go out, and if you crash it and it breaks, then it's okay. It was $1. So
there you go. Very good. Very fun. And it's just the running that's involved in trying to get that kite up in the air, and it's good exercise.
Absolutely, especially with kids. I loved to fly kites as a kid, and unless your parents out there to help you, you're probably not going to go fly a kite.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a great family activity. All right, number 6 on your list.
Go to the park. Okay, so walking, jogging, biking. There's many different parks. Cunningham Lake, Chalco Hills, Zorinsky. I think those are pretty 3 centrally located parks in accordance to where you live that you can get out there.
It's so much fun. A couple nights ago, we went for a walk, my husband and I, with our youngest, who's just turned 6, and there were maybe 24 deer at Chalco Hills.
Yeah.
And then we saw geese in the lake. And then we couldn't quite identify, but it was a small animal. It looked like it was a beaver swimming on its back. It was...
it was probably a beaver.
And it was like, what an awesome experience. I mean, you learn so much when you're out there exploring nature and you're getting the exercise, and it's like you're just getting lots of benefits all at once. And people were biking and walking.
And there's dogs out there. People are playing with their dogs. So if your kids like animals and you don't necessarily have one, you can still see plenty of animals.
Absolutely. Well, we have to take a quick break, so we have really to get through this 25 list really quickly, but we will do that in just a few moments, so stay tuned. We are back, and we are talking with Kristen Kennedy, personal trainer and owner of Kennedy Fitness. And you and your husband, Robert, you guys are such a great source of information on helping kids and families stay healthy and get healthy and active. I should mention that you guys write for us every month in the magazine, Family Spectrum magazine. And again, you can read that online at readonlinenow.com. But you guys have really great, simple tips for eating right and staying active. So let's get through this 25 list of tips for a healthier spring and summer. I think we're on only number 7, so we have
number
to scoot.
7. But a lot of these are going to go together. So along with going to the park, some of the activities that many people do at the park are rollerblading and biking. I know if you're maybe from a different generation than the 20-somethings that are out there right now rollerblading is a great activity. It's not hard to learn. If you're able to roller skate or ice skate, you can do that. Otherwise, you can bike while your kids rollerblade. A lot of the lakes out there have the paved path now and very smooth to rollerblade on. When you're out there, make sure you have a helmet on. Okay, that's going to be very, very important. You might think you're not going to fall off your bike because you're only going 5 miles an hour along with your kids, but you never know when I almost had a deer hit me at Zorinsky once, so on my bike.
Well, we saw that too at Chaco Hill, some deers darting out right in front of bikers.
Yep, so make sure you wear that helmet. Even when you're in the parking lot getting on your bike, if you have the clip-in shoes with your pedals, you can fall and your head's going to be the first thing to hit the ground.
Exactly, and you're talking about kids and moms
kids
and dads, right?
Everyone
should be wearing the helmet.
Absolutely. Okay, when you have the helmet on, you also want to make sure you have on sunscreen. We don't want to get skin cancer. Kids, since you've been inside all winter, your skin is very pale. The melanin hasn't come to the surface yet to help you get that tan, so make sure you wear the sunscreen, especially on your face.
Great, at all times when you're outside.
Then when you're at the park, have a cookout. It's a great way to get your kids still active because they're going to be helping you move stuff from the car, the coolers and things. And while you're cooking the food, they can be running around playing. And it's great to eat outside, especially if it's not a windy day where you can't have your kites. So
it is, and isn't grilled food, healthier too because you're not cooking it in oils and other fats.
Right. You got to make sure you don't burn it. Some of that chard on the outside is actually not good for you, but don't char it too bad, and it is much healthier than frying. But you must like the chard.
I do.
Outside.
I was sitting here thinking, oh no, I just love like a nice dark crust on my chicken.
Burnt up hot dog.
I love a burnt up hot dog. Yeah, okay.
You can have mine when I burn it.
Okay. All right. Some other good tips.
Ditch the chips and go for vegetables. A lot of vegetables don't have to be refrigerated like you might think. Carrots grow in the ground. All the vegetables grow in the ground, so they get hot and cold along with the weather, so you don't always have to have them refrigerated. If you're going to take something like ranch dip, which I do not recommend, the light ranch, but if that's the only way your kids are going to eat vegetables, go ahead and give them the ranch dip. But it can go just along with chips, just like chips do, in your bag, and you can eat them with your cookout.
A great healthy snack.
All right.
What about fruit?
Fruit, it depends on how you like it. If you like it cold, then you're going to need to refrigerate it. If you don't like it cold, or you'll eat it warm, then it's fine.
Again, natural sugars in fruit.
Natural sugars,
it's just
absolutely.
Great. And what do you think about fruit snacks?
Fruit snacks,
not
a good idea. They say they have vitamin C and they have vitamins, but it's maybe 10% vitamin C. And most of them say they're not made with real fruit, so I don't recommend fruit snacks.
Fruit is just plentiful, especially now that spring and summer's here. You can get so many different types of fresh fruits at the farmer's market or at your local grocery store. So eat plenty of that.
Okay. Another way to get active is, I know in neighborhoods, sometimes if it is dark when you have to get up and go for a walk in the spring and summer, people don't like to do it alone. So you can organize a group within your community, women, men, co-ed groups, to go walking as a group together in the morning or in the evening when you get back from work. A lot of people, if they just had that buddy to pull them out of the house, would walk every day.
Absolutely. It's so much more fun. And walking, it's just, it gets everything going. That's supposed to get your heart going, the endorphins going, and it's good on your joints, right?
Yep. Make sure it's a brisk walk. If your kids can keep up with you, you're probably not going fast enough as an adult. So make sure it gets your heart rate up. You have to breathe a little heavy. You can still talk, but you wouldn't be able to sing a song. That's going to be a good pace to go at for a walk.
Okay, great. You have something on this list that says be aware of the fair.
Be aware of the fair. So fairs are good and bad. Okay, we all know the bad part. That's the corn dogs and the funnel cakes and cotton candy and caramel apple and all the things you loved as a kid about the fair is the bad part for you. You can still pack your lunch at the fair. A lot of them, they don't check. They don't let you bring beer in, but they don't say you can't bring your own food. So if you're going to be there all day watching your kids on rides, you can pack the fruit and the vegetables, and if you grilled something earlier, that too. But the fair is a great way to get exercise because you're walking from ride to ride, you're watching your kids, you might participate in some of the ring toss games where they steal your money because they rig it so you can't win. But it's a great, they're rigged. I spent many of allowance money on those darn games. So it's a great way to still be active by going to the fair.
Very good, and there will be so many opportunities this summer to do that. Let's talk about you have a few more things on your list?
Car shows are a great way to get exercise in as well. There's tons of car shows in Omaha almost every day of the week. It's not just on a weekend. And I don't know of anybody who doesn't like to look at a classic car, especially the ones that are at car shows, because they're all redone. And you can go with your kids, and you can have each of your kids pick out a dream car, and it's a great way to get exercise and to bond as a family and see some great automobiles.
Sounds fun. I didn't even realize there were so many in the area.
There's a lot, yeah.
Great. Okay, super. Let's see. Go to the pool. I can't wait for the pools to open.
Absolutely.
That's a great one.
Pools. Kids love pools. You're not going to say, hey, let's go to the pool, and your kid's going to be like, I don't want to go to the pool. Unless they can't swim, and then they might. But you got to remember that the pool was closed early last year to save money, budget cuts. So get to the pool as soon as they open so your kids can get all their pool activities in before they close for the summer.
And again, another really great way to spend good family time, and it's great exercise too.
Absolutely. If you have a dog, you can take your dog to the park. If you don't have a dog and you're thinking about getting a pet, summer is a great time because if they're maybe not quite house trained, when you get them, they always have the chance to be outside because it's nice and warm instead of getting a pet in the winter. And your dog's going to make you go for a walk. There's no way you can not, unless you buy one of the little toy dogs. But they're gonna make you take them for a walk. That's right. That's right. Camping's a great idea. I know there's a lot of places in Iowa that have hiking trails and then spots to camp. So think about camping. If you have the equipment especially, it's a great way to get exercise and be outside with your family and teach kids about the stars and about nature and animals.
It is so much fun. I mean, I have a lot of fun memories of that too. And just to get a tent, and it's a much more cost-effective way to take a family vacation than having to go somewhere and spend the money on a hotel.
Absolutely.
All right, 60 seconds left. What are the rest of the things on your item?
Boating.
Yep.
And not with a power boat, so with a canoe or a kayak. A lot of rivers around here, streams to go boating on. And then my favorite one, which people might not like, is mow your own lawn. I know a lot of people have lawn services that come in and mow the lawn, but it's a great way to get exercise, to be outside in the sun, and you get to reap the fruits of your labor because you get to see your lawn look beautiful. And if you really are hardcore, you cannot use the self-propelled part of your mower and actually push your mower to mow the lawn.
Wow, that's great exercise.
I don't do
that's
that, but
strength training too.
It is, especially if you have an uphill backyard. But mow your own lawn. It's a great idea.
Great. That's a good note to kind of end our conversation. But Kristen, can you remind listeners if they are interested in getting information about personal training, or do you have resources also on your website?
Absolutely. Our website is kennedyfitness.net. And you can reach Robert or I at 871-7935, and we give a free consultation. So if you don't know if personal training is right for you or if our personalities will match, give us a call. We'll set something up. We can come to your home, or we do have a gym that we work at in Elkhorn. So,
great.
Or we can go to the lake.
I was going to say, do you personal train outside?
We absolutely do. Absolutely.
Awesome. Very good. Well, thanks so much for your time. Also, thank you to today's show sponsor, Charles E. Dorwart, estate planning attorney, helping you preserve your family's legacy and estate. Contact Charles today at 558-1404 for a free consultation. Remember to visit us online at FamilySpectrum.com, where you can sign up for our free monthly e-letter, which will automatically give you eligibility to participate in our monthly staycation giveaways. Join us here again tomorrow, noon to 12:30, as we welcome Jennifer Haggart, president of Omaha Association for the Education of Young Children. Until then, live, love, grow.